And welcome back to Skygate, our 5e D&D campaign that takes place almost entirely underground. When last we left off, you all had done a little bit of information gathering throughout the town. Some of you maybe found true love. Others of you divulged a little backstory. But all of you got roughed up a little bit, most of you got at least roughed up a little bit, and decided it was time for a night's sleep as a full day of mini tasks had been completed. Arising the next morning, one of you wakes a little before the rest. There's no light shining in through a window to wake you up, but most of you have been asleep for close to a full night's sleep. One of you is awoken. Axel, in your room, there's not really there's windows kind of in this room that are kind of board up things you can open to look out over the massive drop. You wake up to a on the wood.
A sound I know well.
You hear.
About time you showed up. Open the window.
You come up and open the window, and there's this bird that kind of this crow that kind of or a raven, really, that kind of looks and twists and watches you.
It's pretty good.
And he kind of looks at you and says, "Well, how's it been?"
You know, it's going all right. There's fought an Umber Hulk, but we managed to scrap it up enough.
Be careful down here. This is where I was. Better not end up like me, huh? And he pecks at you with his beard.
Yeah, I'd like to keep my fingers on
with his beak, kind of pecks at you.
It's actually just a dwarf.
Raven-sized dwarf with wings. And you would know from a couple of previous encounters, this is a facility.
Yeah.
The ugliest looking siren I've ever seen.
And he says, well, looked you up because she gave me another bit of my past.
Well, let's hear it.
And he says, it's not much. Just a name. Weldra.
Weldra. Just Weldra?
Just Weldra.
Weldra.
I think that's what I was looking for. Or who I was looking for. Sounds like a name.
I'll see what kind of digging I can do.
The Well of Draw.
The Well of Draw.
The Well of Draw.
Well of Minecraft Zombie Noise.
Cross the street from the well.
The well of, wait, I know you.
Alright, well, I'll look into it. See what I can dig up. Anything else coming from up top?
Nothing else.
Alright.
She must trust that you got this figured out. Or you will. Don't fuck it up. He just pops up and starts flying away.
He's the one I thought was normal.
Now.
Joke's on you, I'm the one that's not.
Honestly,
Lala says picking out wedding dresses.
Well, she did hit it off with the guy once. They're getting married.
he's gonna woo her.
Yeah. No, we gotta get some fancy dress clothes.
I know, for a date, I'm gonna go buy some.
You have 3 days.
I am going to take a time to summon my familiar.
Okay.
So I'll have my raven now. I didn't do it previously. I don't know. I just didn't describe my character with a raven.
Mm-hmm.
So now
You did the ritual. You didn't feel like traveling with it. You have it now.
I have it now. So I do.
Do the find familiar ritual, and your raven is there.
Cool. Let's see. Was there anything else I was
Bird.
gonna...
Birdman.
Birdman. I don't think I had anything else to do before we started for the day. I was like, there's something that I forgot to do. I'm like, my raven.
And the rest of you start rising up.
Yeah.
The morning is you.
I want to go have a private conversation with Vickelroy.
Okay.
Oh no, you're gonna be a tattletale.
I will head for the fish camp.
Okay.
Try and get that done first thing tomorrow.
All right. You start heading that way. We'll start with you heading into Vickelroy's office. If you're not killing it, come on in.
Great. I'll come in and sit down across from him. Vickelroy, I have some concerns about the company.
God, we're not 24 hours in yet.
How much of a background check did you do on these other employees?
I know the backgrounds. Gandalf's been down there a little bit. He's a good guy. He's a gloomstalker for Christ's sake. He's a gloomstalker for Moradin's sake. He knows those caves well enough. He's got some information for those. I always want to have a holy man in any group. Holy magic's help, so Dermir is useful there. From what I understand, Raxus is a great killer of evil. Destroyed an entire cult, from what I'm told, so that sounds pretty up and up to me. Heroic, even. Lala comes from the Gentleman Knights. They got a good reputation, and Axel had some business experience and was willing to take out a loan from the God Vault, so he was at the very least gullible enough to be my partner.
At least he's honest.
And you come from noble blood, your family's vested in, you've got interest, you raised a revolution against someone who was cutting into profits quite a bit for a lot of people. Seems to me like everybody's got a background worth trusting in.
I didn't know some of the things you said, but maybe they're okay. They're just a little eccentric.
Let me put it this way. If you were saying, I'd like to make a company where I get the most capable people that want to go to a place that is death incarnate and hope to come out with riches, would you go and hire Billy from the block? No, you're gonna get somebody who's a little eccentric, but capable. That's my hope, at least.
Makes sense. If anything gets a lot worse, I'll let you know. But
It'd be appreciated. If anybody's... Look, it's as long as it's for the interests of the company. Once that's not the interest anymore and people are going against the flow in that way, I'd like to know.
You hear the sound of cooking and sizzling.
Well,
I remembered the thing that I didn't have prepared before. I'm using my
you smell that?
something smells good.
I'm making frittatas.
There is a small kitchen that's a part of this little kitchenette kind of separate section that if you ask Honey about, she would absolutely point you to.
I'm gonna say, it was nice chatting, but I'm gonna go see what that is.
Bring me a plate, huh?
I'll admit, breakfast frittatas do sound pretty good.
You get to the front door to go to the base camp and the smell of frittatas fills your nostrils.
I would like to just turn around on the spot and wander through the
The,
whole.
doesn't even,
the trail of smoke winds into one nostril and out the other, and you lift off your feet, turn and float towards
I can fly! It's every Kenku's dream.
The rest of you wake up to the smell of freshly cooking frittatas.
Ooh, I'm getting up.
That's
I will,
it's a pleasant smell that I don't
Go
think.
see what's happening, and I will remember to take Vickelroy. So.
Okay.
That,
Bring it back.
it
to
is.
plate. Appreciate it.
It is a pleasant smell that I don't think Zaraxis is used to.
Go ahead and make me a wisdom check that you're proficient.
It is 14.
You make some pretty good frittatas.
Pretty decent.
They're pretty solid frittatas.
I guess, can I say that I have some snacks prepared as part of that?
You can also cook up some. Because your things are like little treats,
It's
isn't it? Like little
treats.
biscuits or something.
Yeah.
What is yours? What did you get?
In this case, there'll be some breakfast sausages that I cook on the side.
Okay.
So they'll keep for a little bit, and I'll have them wrapped up in a cloth.
Sounds good.
Later
You need
on.
a magical buff. Eat a sausage.
No, you need temporary hit points. Have a
You're looking
sausage.
down. Have a sausage. Rally to me, brothers. Eat the sausage. We can prevail.
Would you like a Jimmy Dean?
I'm in a life or death situation, but sure.
Are you? So you're wanting to go to base camp? Are you telling other people you're wanting to go to base camp? Are you making this a group expedition to base camp?
I mean, I was just gonna head there, but if anybody would like to come along to base camp,
Base camp is the name of a. Oh,
it's a shop. They sell expedition supplies for the Underdark.
I'll go with
Do
you.
you have any guides on the creepy things down there?
There are good places I need to check.
I'm going with you.
I'm going with him too.
Godspeed.
There might be a dress shop nearby.
You need him to take you to the dress shop.
Candle,
That's
by the
true.
way, do you know where you can buy one of those helmets with the padlocks?
Base camp would probably... The base camp would be a decent place to start. Apart from that, I would either look at... the Forge Yard, or you could go talk to Black Lodge, which is a clan of engineers and artificers.
See, I don't really know what that's for, but I assume there's a good reason. It's probably not a fashion statement.
Can I roll? Would it be like a nature to know, like, or like history or whatever, to know exactly why they wear those? Like what exactly it is they're like.
Make a nature.
afraid
We'll call
of?
the nature, and this is Underdark specific. I don't know if you have anything special at that from the type of ranger you are. If that gives you like on knowledge checks, if there's anything along those lines.
I do, but it's like it's specific for like knowledge checks on like favorite enemies.
Is
you know what I mean?
favorite enemies? What are your favorite?
Drow and Duergar.
Okay, so it'll just be a straight nature roll.
7.
You know that there's lots of things in the Underdark that try to infest, devour, or take the place of your mind. And so, something that can keep them from being able to that do that both physically and mystically. So, something that makes it harder for them to peel something off of your head so they can get into your head is a good thing. But you don't really know specifics beyond that. You haven't been in a deep enough soiree or enough soirees yet to see anything like
The
that.
problem with that
specifically.
answer is there's not just one reason as to why they're there.
All the more reason to get one.
All the more reasons to get one.
Yeah, we'd start there.
There's a disappointed sigh from all the mind flayers in the room.
Who's secret mind flayer? One of you secret mind flayer.
The idea that it's just like a freaking mind flayer in like Groucho Marx glasses. Like,
Candle, come this way. He's just in like a like plague doctor mask, so you assume he's a kinku. Is everybody? Is anyone else doing something weird and different, or are you all just gonna go to base camp to start?
Where would I know that the copper knots are?
You know that the copper knots don't necessarily frequent one spot. They work as mercenaries, so like there's probably like a storefront of business, but you wouldn't necessarily know where that's at. And you know that it's hard for them to kind of stay in business in the Underdark itself. Like some members of the clan live here, but most of them live on the surface and operate as mercenaries on the surface because they are like no dwarf will hire them. There's like deep-seated dwarven history that's like the copper knots are treacherous scum and they are not true dwarves. They are worse than clanless. They're disgraced.
Okay. You got
It's one of those things that's like, well, actually, you know what? Go ahead and roll me a history. Go ahead and roll me a history. You're a dwarf. I'll let you roll this.
You're great at rolling things today.
he has to,
Oof.
Not important
it
thing.
has to come up eventually.
11.
11. You're pretty sure. You don't know the full story. What you know is that the copper knots were considered responsible for you don't know exactly how, but essentially responsible in some way for a Crag Crown princess being kidnapped in the past. And the Crag Crowns have disgraced them since that point. And this is like many hundreds of years ago. If not thousands.
But if we know anything about dwarves, they hold grudges.
What would I know? Would I know where Falcon Copper Knot is?
Is that your
That's my-
person you know?
That's my person.
Your contact in town. You know that she frequents. You know that Falcon is like the leader of the Copper Knots. Like she is the main Copper Knot, and you know that she's one of the few that actually lives in town and is pretty regularly she kind of runs business for a lot of the mercenary side of things from the city, and is pretty constantly trying to campaign for reinstatement, but falls on deaf ears. I'd say you would be able to find her if you wanted to. You'd know her home in town. How do you know her, I guess? How did you end up meeting Falcon?
Well, we'll say that because when I left the family of Stone, they tried to recruit me because I was clanless.
Okay. They knew that you were coming from Family of Stone. You're have a bit of a reputation of religious magics and ability as a warrior, and so they were trying to kind of potentially recruit you for surface mercenary work.
Yeah.
Very well. Then she probably would have had that meeting where she spoke with you about that job opportunity, somewhere where she kind of fronts business. So you could go back to that place if you wanted to.
I won't right now.
Okay.
I'll
So-
go to the thing.
The group of you guys go to the base camp. Again, everything takes a while to get to in the city. It's a big city, but you will arrive outside of the shop. This shop it's definitely like an older stone building that's like built into a wall in a large building. It's probably bought by this person or rented by this individual who runs it, and the shop itself is like a very old building that's like a more modern and recent shop that runs inside of it. You know that you specifically, Candle, would know, you've probably been here before, I would assume, and would know that usually there is I believe he's a half-orc. Let me make sure I'm being correct about that, because it's Brog, right? Yes. You know that he's an older half-orc man, and that he usually is found in here with his small friend.
That's a bit rude.
No, it's like a small terrier dog. It's an eye patch.
Cool.
Adorable.
He lost the eye in the war.
I feed him a sausage.
He gets temporary hit points.
Let me make sure here. Yeah, you would know that Brug Talash is a half-orc man who runs this shop, and that he is usually found here with his small terrier dog companion that he refers to as Trollbait.
Wow, he names his dogs like we named dodos at ours.
And you know that he's not like he's not a ranger of your order or anything like that, but he has done expeditions in the past, and then kind of after doing some of those retired and is like, I should sell to the people who are going to go die instead of dying myself after some of the things he saw.
You said Brug?
Mm-hmm. B-R-U-G, Brug Talash.
And don't get troll bait.
Well, yeah, I'm writing down Brug and Trophy.
Definitely gonna
It's a named dog.
Alright, you guys go into the shop, and it's think fantasy dwarven military surplus. Like
Nice.
big long racks of things just
Bleeding
filled with
shovels.
all sorts
I
of
want to shop there in real life.
There's straight like everything you can find on the equipment list is there, as well as some other stuff.
I want to ask him about any kind of guides or books to the Underdark or the creatures that dwell there.
I have a number of different things. What specifically are you looking for? Tracks? Signs to avoid?
Yes.
I can't. There's not like a 9,000 volume. There's a lot of shit down there. Are you looking for things on. What are you looking for?
Maybe some kind of guide to the most common creatures there and any tips on avoiding or combating them.
There's some guys like that. I've got a kind of more basic field manual for the like. It's not super detailed. It's more broad. But if you're looking for something broad, it's not going to be detailed.
I'm looking for something broad. I'm looking for a broad.
Aren't we all?
Hang on to my wigs in the back.
And he's gonna go over to one of these shelves, kind of filing around. There's like a stack of like what looks like 7 or 8 of the same book, kind of lined up, and he's gonna pull one off, and it says "Field Guide to the Underdark." And
Perfect.
He'll sit down and he'll say, "This will run you 20 gold."
Done.
One of the first books I ever read.
And
You can
then
read?
I'm going to more quietly ask him, do you have any books about the Drow or their society?
I have very little on that. The Drow are to be avoided. I can't say that much of their history is known by surfacers or Skygaters or dwarves. On their society, their history,
Their social structure or anything about where they live, how they live?
what I can tell you from my own time in the Underdark is that they have houses. I'm not sure how many they are. They're, I think, a matriarchal society, and They're very nasty. Some of them are slavers. Most of them are spider breeders and demon summoners. And all of them want nothing more than to destroy all life in Skygate and on the surface. Luckily, they hate each other just a little more, so they're busy down there.
What do they do with their slaves?
Whatever they want, nothing good.
Pillage, rape.
If you're lucky, manual labor until you die.
Thank you.
You wouldn't happen to have a field guide on mushrooms, would you? Mushrooms of the dark.
I have something like that, yes.
I remembered from the first time. I'm like, there was something I was gonna ask about that might be lucrative for our surface contacts.
He'll take
Mushrooms.
This one. He'll slide it off that kind of same shelf that has mostly kind of different books on it, and he'll set it out. And he said, "This one's a little rarer of a copy. Run you 30 gold, but it's got some pretty good detail on most of and especially the most common kinds of different fungus you'll
It's
find.
got a
out
real psychedelic cover.
Oh, what about valuable monster pearls?
there. Valuable
And
monster.
maybe
parts.
their uses, but maybe mostly who to sell them to.
Well, I mean, I don't have addresses on it, but there is one that's, again, if you want broad, I can give you broad, but it won't be particularly specific. There's a lot of shit in the end.
Yeah, let's start with broad, I guess. I don't have anything specific we're looking for yet.
Starting with a broad, huh?
And he'll say, another more niche book, we'll run you 30 gold on this one as well.
Okay.
This will give you the more common Underdark creatures, what's valuable on them, what you can sell, and what it's good for.
Nice.
Absolutely.
I'll add that.
Whoa!
I'll kind of lean into
Illithid tentacles. Whoa! What are they good for? Nothing but calamari.
I'll kind of lean in and kind of like kind of do what he did, just kind of whisper this.
How lore is gonna
Like,
be calamari markers, but
What do you have as far as
the war against the Squids.
rare
Of course.
or legendary or rare or rumored objects within the Underdark?
He's gonna be like, to be honest with you, my shit's practical. And if anybody has any sort of map or tome or anything that points to something in the Underdark, they tuck it in a pocket and they use it or they sell it. And they don't sell it to me. They sell it for a lot. I don't have... If I had a book of artifacts in the Underdark, I'd have closed shop and retired some time ago.
What useful tools would you recommend going on expeditions?
Well,
Chalk, candles, alchemist fire,
Shovel,
shovels, climbing kit, grappling hook.
all the sort of thing you'd expect. It depends on what are you expecting to need to hide? Are you expecting to go to caves that are particularly hard to breathe in? Are you expecting to go underwater? Are you expecting to, well, something I just got in recently
Bedroll.
that could be useful for just about anybody is tinctures of sanity. These things will save you in a pinch, because if you spend too much time down there, you will go bonkers.
How much are those?
Well, for one, it's 100 gold pieces. But they will suppress the effects of madness for some time.
That would be crazy first, see how I feel about it. Maybe next
For how
time.
long?
Essentially, a tincture of sanity will give you a 24-hour window where the effects of insanity do not apply to you. At whatever
Let's go buy
ones you
one and
have.
give it to that Kuotoa
Would
guy.
that work on if, let's say, that big old creature that tried to, like, warp our minds and shit? Will that work on that?
It won't stave off mind-altering magics. If you go crazy, it'll rewire your brain to work right for a day. The good old-fashioned crazy, not the I wiggled my fingers.
Oh, okay, so
bulbous
just
to my eyes.
true madness.
Antipsychotic.
Oh, that's a little pricey. It's a little out of my price range. I gotta go buy something else today. But,
Good to keep in mind.
good
Yeah.
to keep in mind.
Literally, keep in mind.
What about underwater breathing stuff?
Well, for breathing things, if you look at that top shelf up there, I've got my sealed goggles and breather masks. That's more for spores or noxious gases. But just below that, you'll see a line of what looks like empty glass bottles, but those are actually bottled breath. Those you can inspire out of and have a lungful of air for an hour. But you have to keep your mouth closed and sealed to keep that in there. It's elemental air. It'll keep you from suffocate. It'll keep you from suffocating anything. You won't have to breathe while you have it. However, if you talk, if you open your mouth to scream, anything like that, you're going to release that air, and it won't be any good anymore.
Any breathing masks that fit a Kenku?
Now, I could make one.
How much?
Since it's a custom job. Hey, you're Candle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you in here before. Not too hard to just get a different shaped mask and apply it on there. Same price as they all are. 50 gold.
Okay. I'm also looking for maps.
I've got some. Can't tell you where all of them start. I got a recent bag of supplies found sold to me, and after some cleaning, they're ready for sale.
Was it from your guy?
I don't know. I'd kind of like to look, though.
Exactly. Fortunately, looking is buying.
Oh, so I have to just, like,
It's
buy
a
the whole
mystery
bag?
sack.
Ooh, mystery bag. Oh,
Mystery bag.
we're going to spend all our money on mystery bags.
It's like the freaking gotcha pull. Like, what do we got? What do we got?
We got Erickson hides one in every campaign, and we've got to track it down. And
You give me 50 more gold, I'll give you a bag that's got 5 maps in it. I don't know where they go.
Looks
what they
like
go.
I'm drinking
I'll
cheap
buy
till
it.
payday.
I'll buy that
50
bottle
gold
too.
it is.
You got what?
There's
Was
I'll
it?
buy that bottle
invented
too.
tabletop
The bottle of breath?
microtransactions.
He says the bottle of breath is 150 gold.
150
gold.
gold.
Also, I've seen some dwarves wearing helmets with padlocks to secure
I'll buy
them
it.
themselves.
Yeah, sky guards. I don't sell it. I mean, I sell padlocks. You'll probably have to get a custom job done at one of the forge yard areas or something along those lines. Get a gray stomp or a flint beard to do it for you. They'll be able to mount the right brackets on shoulder pauldrons and on a helmet. I'm happy to sell you the padlock to lock it down.
2 of them?
Sure. Whatever the lock is normally in the PHP.
Probably like
I
5
think they
gold.
were kind of expensive.
Turns out.
If you're looking to hide, I do also have boulder skin tarps. Doesn't do you any good if you're moving around, but it'll let you hide underneath it and blend into the rocks a little better.
It does sound awesome, but I think I've spent all of my
And if I'm not mistaken, are you one of the gloom stalkers?
Mhm.
Something that just came in recently that I think might interest you more than others. I got a recent contract, per se, with a local mainstay of the potion variety, Trollspitz. I have a deal going with her that I will sell something that she's been starting to learn how to brew. Very expensive for her to do and takes quite a while, but I can sell it at the same price she does and take a small cut of the one that she keeps in my shop. And it is the Blood Chiller Brew.
Ooh, so you can be immune to thermal vision.
So essentially, and he kind of brings up, and you see a bottle of white and teal, like kind of swirling liquid that has like a little buildup of frost on the outside of it. And he says, 500 gold pieces, but for an hour. I don't care how fancy and red your eyes are. You're not going to be glowing no matter how cold your background is. You'll be blending right in.
And I would be truly invisible even to the drow to make my great escape. Probably leaving everyone else to die.
A drow. I'll see you losers later. Or not.
Cool. I definitely don't have the money for that, but cool.
It's good to know it exists.
I'm excited to find out what's in my mystery bag.
The mystery sack. I love it, Erickson. I have a bag of shit. If you want to buy it, $50.
But to look
What's
is
in
to
it?
buy.
You have to buy it.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
he says like it's a bag of maps, but it's like if you're like, hey, here's a map. You want to look at it for a little while before you buy it, and you're like, I'm good. Like, maps aren't useful to sell if you already have a copy of it. He doesn't know how good you are in your brain.
Baron didn't bring this in, did he?
Customer confidentiality. And no, this one was not Bear.
Okay, good.
It was.
Somebody's.
It wasn't that messy.
You did say you were able to clean it.
Exactly.
Can you point me in the direction of a nice dress shop here in town?
Me, lady.
If there is one, I don't know where it is.
Candle, do you know?
I can look through my list of shops.
Can you give me directions to one of these smithing dwarves?
Yeah, I can take you to Forge.
And yeah, if you're looking for fine clothing,
Right. Now, something that would be interesting to look for fine clothing would be things found, because that's a shop of oddities from the Underdark, That could.
That's
be
how you end
fun.
up with a cursed dress.
True, but it'd probably be fancy.
It's true.
That old coot, he's got nothing useful in there, but very interesting things.
I mean, I assume there would be just like general stores and stuff like that. That would probably, and there's got to be at least a tailor around here.
There probably is. It seems like you're asking the guy who works at an army surplus store where the nicest dress shop in town is.
And the guy who knows, and the guy who knows where.
No
the,
stereotype.
I'm not trying to stereotype,
And the
but if
guy-
I
and
were,
the
this
guy
is
who
not the
knows,
person who'd be like, well, yes, of course, you go over here. It's the very fancy tailor. He's
the-
like,
yeah.
I'm wearing the clothes I used to wear when I would go exploring in the Underdark.
It's still
But now, I'm not almost dead all the time.
I found this shirt on a corpse.
It was nicer than my shirt, so I swapped him. Didn't want the corpse to be naked.
That'd be uncouth.
Well,
Are you coming with me to those dwarves?
Sure, I
or,
can take you there.
Show me the directions.
I'll go with you guys, so you can point me in the direction of some sort of shop.
I'd like to stop by the, if there's like, I assume there's like just open air market kind of thing.
All over the place,
Yeah.
especially near the front gate.
Okay, because I'm looking for mushroom stalls.
Okay.
I don't know why I've decided that I'm a mushroom guy. But I'm a mushroom guy.
What's in my mystery pack? Or do you want to
Maps.
just write it down?
Digging into the mystery pack, it is 5. Like, there's kind of. You can see that there's a pretty nice set of leather gloves.
Ooh.
Too big for a kangaroo.
I mean,
small.
you're pretty small. It might be a little big on you, but it's a nice set of leather gloves. There is what looks like a section of rope that used to be longer, but is cut on one part, so it's now only 10 feet of rope kind of coiled up, tossed in here. And there are 5 rolled up pieces of paper that have like kind of more directions and mappings charted out on them. Are you, as far as like specifics, there's not necessarily specifics of like what is found on all of them.
Right.
The only one that really mentions something specific is there is one that seems to like end at what it said, like what the like last section is Great Chasm, Big Bridge, had to turn back.
No, they delved too greedily and too deep.
And it seems like that's the longer trek of the 5.
While you guys talk to the blacksmiths, I might cast detect magic over it to see if there's any like magic on any of your
Sure.
mystery sack.
Sure. You can cast
Detect
magic
magic,
on
okay.
the mystery bag. And yeah, we'll head for the forge yard.
Nothing's magical about that. Just all mundane stuff. Heading to the
Vaguely
forge yard.
hoping for magical goods.
You would know that unlike the Anvil, which is kind of a large gray stomp shop, the Flintbeard Forge Yard is more of a open air market. It's not like the way that the Grey Stomps work is it's very communal. They have one big shop, all of the smiths put their gear there, and it's all sold from there. Whereas the Flintbeard Forge Yard is like this massive array of multiple smithy stalls where different families and sections of the clan work together, build things, and sell it from that shop. So the pricing is pretty unionized, like it's similar across the board, but there's all sorts of different smiths that are like hanging, like their armor is all hanging up and draping, and they seem to have their more weird, exotic, lavish, adventurous armors like hung up and displayed to kind of show their ability, so that you're like, oh, let's go to the one that has the really weird, interesting sword on it because they're probably like that looks like fine craftsmanship. Seems it's a more competitive market.
Maximum protection, minimum bikinis.
Do any of them like have that style of helmet that already has
Perception check.
the brackets or something on it?
Some records.
Perception. I'm not good at this. Crit fail.
Crit fail. You don't see it on any of them.
I go blind.
You turn to look, and as someone strikes, sparks hit your eyes, and none of them seem to be displaying any armor that shows signs of those lucky.
Cairns, do you know any of the families here? Which one?
Not specifically. Find somebody who looks like they make good helmets. Or more importantly,
You should
find
fight
somebody
them for.
find somebody who looks like they make like strong helmets. Pretty helmet or strong helmet, take your pick.
I guess I'm picking a stall at random.
Okay, you walk up to a stall.
I don't know what good armor looks like apparently.
And you can see that there's a kind of heavy-set dwarven man who's got like the chin shaved off, but has big mutton chops and a big mustache. He's got kind of a big belly that's like pushing up against a leather smithy apron, and he's currently hammering away at a breastplate on an anvil in front of him.
Hello.
Alright. He kind of sets it. He turns, hits it a couple more times, kind of shaping one part of it, and you see him kind of set it into a fire where it seemed like it was starting to cool. He kind of finished what he was doing, tossed it in, and turned. What are you looking for?
I'm looking to have a helmet modified in the style of the Skygate with the locks. I have the locks already. I just need some brackets and things added to my armor. I guess I need a helmet. I don't have one.
I can fit you for a helmet, get some loops on it. Do you want it on the armor you've got now? Attached onto that?
Yeah. I can't afford new armor.
Leave the pauldrons with me here. Probably take me a day. I could get some brackets fixed on that, and the helmet. Kind of looks over his shoulder. He's like, got a couple days before that guy's back for that. I could probably move yours up in the list and have the whole thing done by tomorrow morning. With the helmet, this piece affixed. You looking for a closed face helmet? Some with a hinge? Or you looking to have a full squid cage on you?
What do you mean by a squid cage?
I assume you're putting this on to keep things from getting in there?
Yeah. That's what they're for, right? That's the idea.
That's the hope.
That's my hope. So, yes.
So probably nothing with a hinge on it.
Right.
My point being, I can get you a full. It will maybe not give you the best visibility while it's affixed on, and you won't really be able to move something out of your way with it. But it will certainly be on there.
That'll work.
Okay. I'll say helm. Something practical, but no fancy, minute work with the hinges and stuff. Set of brackets. Are you needing locks for it?
I have locks already.
38 gold.
Deal.
30 for the helmet, 2 per hinge. For a bracket, I got a mount on there.
Terrible creature of the Underdark grabs a hold of you, clanks off the helmet, opens up the helmet.
I'm just trying to avoid face hunters.
I thought you were about to say, like, opens up the helmet, opens up his brain, opens up his skull, eats the brain.
Suck your brain out the eyeball.
That just reminds
Yeah,
me
probably.
of a certain table that was built for
I'll come back for
something
it
like
tomorrow.
that.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
the monkey eating brain. The monkey
Yeah.
And I am Brown.
Brown?
Brown.
Brown?
B-R-A-U-N. Brown.
Brown.
You're putting a lot of ooh into it.
Sorry.
Just one you.
My dwarvish is a bit rusty.
Brown.
Brown.
Close.
Yeah, close enough.
Not to be confused with Bairn or Brug.
Everybody's on a B kick. There you
Look,
go.
you're in an area populated with a lot of orcs and dwarves. Not trying to be, again, not trying to stereotype here, but they're not particularly fanciful in their naming conventions. Sufficient.
The Dragonborn, however.
Quite fanciful.
That's our whole lives.
Being fancy.
Yeah, true. It's tough looking this good.
Sometimes it works out for you.
It's true. You can't listen. You can't argue with results.
Yeah, that is true.
I might be the next people's princess, so.
I love it. Such confidence.
Such confidence.
So you have that waiting for you the next day? Where? Someone else want to go somewhere else?
Dress shop.
Dress shop.
Dress shopping? Okay.
We can do that next, and then I'll probably try to go mushroom shopping.
All right. This is the shopping episode. Good. Go ahead and Candle would not know where a nice dress shop is in town. You know,
I do like fancy
You
clothes.
do like fancy clothing. You would know that there is one nicer shop that is Elven run. That if you want a particularly nice piece in the past you've gone to, it's not specifically a dress shop, but it's like a fine clothes shop. And you would know that it is called Aron Thalor.
No idea how to spell that, but I'll try.
It's alright, neither does Candle. I like the idea that it's written in Elvish, and so everyone just kind of guesses at how you pronounce it.
Aaron
Yes.
Aaron Thors.
I can guide Lala in that direction.
There you go.
Okay. It is similarly seemingly is a like older stone building that has been rented or purchased and turned into a nice shop. However, a lot more effort has been put onto the front of it to put drapery and fine dingly bits, and there is a section that looks like it was like probably stone wall at one point that's been like carved and opened up to make an open window, and you can see fairly strange, eccentric, fashion-forward designs displayed there. It doesn't seem particularly busy for the city, but you know that this is a big city, there's lots of people here, and that you could probably get something along the lines of what you're looking for.
We need particularly exotic materials we should bring here and get ridiculous fancy clothes made.
That does sound pretty fun. Hey, you sure?
Yeah, I'm alright. I'm going in.
I'm going in!
I'm going in!
This is a first.
Somebody watch my
I
purse.
don't wear dresses.
Oh, it doesn't have to be a dress.
Candle's just sitting on
Sure
like
could
a
be.
bench outside, just
Well, I
Holding
feel
the
like
bags, yeah.
just holding
my-
it.
shopping bags.
trying to,
He's like, man, I wish I was drunk.
over-
You see, I like you being a job.
Drink anybody?
You could wear
I'm
pants.
good.
That's important.
I thought you were
I do
asking
feel
in
like
character
to a
to
point
trick
you
anybody.
a little.
Listen, you can wear you go you do what you think.
So you're opening. Are you the first person walking into this door?
Yes.
And as it opens, it hits a little, like a fine, small golden bell that ding, ding, ding. Although it doesn't seem like that's particularly necessary, as there is a fairly lavishly dressed elven woman with long red hair, elaborately braided behind her, seems to be standing in like somewhat of a pose, facing the other way, who gracefully turns as you enter in a very practiced fashion, bows deeply, and says, "Welcome to Ronthulor. I am a Shosh's Ephanora. Please, enter. What can I do for you?"
I'm looking for a dress.
A dress? What kind of dress?
Prom dress.
A dress that can
Poofy sleeves.
impress a prince.
I have nothing here that would not impress a prince. Come this way. The tall section.
You aren't wrong.
Nothing wrong with that, of course. I mean no disrespect. Fierce, tall, powerful. That is what we're looking for here. And she brings her direct. Describe to me the dress that that Lala would want to find.
Ooh, I would say a dress like probably what you would see the blonde girl in Game of Thrones wear.
Hmm?
The blonde one that has the kind of like the braids in the back. She's got the dragons. I
The one that like is Dragon Mom.
Daenerys
Dragon-
Targaryen.
Yeah, Daenerys.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Denarii. Triceratrix, that one.
Maybe something a little in
Dothraki.
between that and like something that Azula would wear as
Okay.
well, with like shoulder pads and
Are you wanting? So you're wanting something kind of flary on the shoulders, something. I don't burn me, nerds, but I don't really know anything about Game of Thrones. So
Oh, okay.
describe like the look of the dress more than like a comparison. To something.
Something. For the like sleeves, it would be like long, but they would be like kind of cut out so that your arms would show, but it would still look very long and elegant. Shoulders would be like pointed, and that would be kind of like neckline, like to the neckline, and then down. It would kind of show the boobies. I don't have boobies. I'm a dragon.
But if you did have them, it would show them.
It would show them. A cinched in like black leather like corset,
Okay.
and just it to be like in a long black dress at the
Okay.
bottom, very sparkly.
She brings forth two options. That as you're kind of looking and you're describing the things you're looking for, she brings forth two things. She says, "Well, I have one option. It's a bit more practical, but still fine nevertheless, and very aggressive in its design. If you look here," and she brings up one like from the Kirkarat steppe itself, hobgoblin in design. They're not known for their fashion-forward senses. Don't get me wrong, but their princesses there are quite beautiful. And she kind of, what you've described, like very similar. It's like these kind of sweeping sharp corners on like the shoulder pads, and it's very like dark and belted and bracketed, but still kind of flowy and somewhat elegant, just more sharp and aggressive. Think a dress equivalent of like Fire Nation armor.
I love that.
So something along those lines. She says, and if you're looking for something a bit more, well, fine to begin with, however, a bit less aggressive and a bit more flowy, this one, and she pulls one out that's similarly sweeping, but less aggressive sweeping and more elegant curves and angles, and seems to be a bit lighter, and the material is more of a silk and see-through and sheer in parts. And she says, this is of elven design, high elven design, from Yaran Tassari, no less.
I'll go with that one. I feel like that one's more sexy.
Okay. It is more feminine sexy, less aggressive sexy. So if that's the more the kind of flowy, beautiful vibe is more what you're looking for, and that's like the sharp angle, that's the one to go with.
Okay, I'll go
Well,
with
you
that one.
true enough love feminine sexy and not aggressive sexy.
She says, as this is a fine dress of elven make, it will run you a bit of money, and I don't mean to judge based off of front appearances, but you seem a bit more of the adventurous types, less of the fine living sort.
How much?
3 million? No. He says, it will be 75 gold pieces.
Done.
Okay? You have a fine elven dress.
Fine elven dress. You can write that in your note. Wait, you might write
Yeah,
it on
what's
your.
the-
Do you have a second sheet?
My
note
guys always wear like this sort of like
that you can
noble
write on.
cloak and
You
has
can
like a
write
signet
like in your
and stuff.
treasure.
Really a noble.
That can be a good place to
Your
Treasure.
accoutrement, it's like noble, but it's warrior noble.
Yeah,
not-
and like my armor's kind of fancy. It has like designs and stuff in it.
No. Yeah.
You wear the signet ring, so that way when you punch one of the plebeians in the head,
You're not.
Go back to the other more friends and show them who did it to me.
What do you mean the peasants are revolting?
and I hate that. What was it? What imprints on my head? Is it a stag? I hate that guy with the stag.
He pulls on his cheek and looks down at it. Yeah, you have a fine elven dress.
There you
Which,
go.
let me know when you're wearing it, because there might be changes to the ways people view you when you're wearing it. It is a very fine elven dress.
See, he's seeing multiple facets of you. He sees you at the bar drinking, and now you're gonna be wearing your nice fancy dress. It's gonna be all.
And you're gonna be drinking at the bar.
Get you a dragon that can do both.
Fucking good.
I showed her that I'm not just an adventurer. I also have money.
Oh wait.
Yeah, you can get turned away from the bar.
When you're just
rocks,
like,
dude.
absolutely, and hand it to her, she's going to seem to be like, very well.
No, there you go. That'll show me. That'll show me to judge people.
She was like, you guys look like a people who get paid a couple gold to knock heads, and you just bought a 75 gold
Hey.
dress.
That's maybe she.
I mean,
knows
she's
someone
not-
else.
Business is good business.
This is
these
good
days.
business, especially in this city.
He's not technically wrong.
We could have bought 75,000. No, probably like 750,000 ball bearings.
And then somehow magnetized them and formed them into a dress.
We could have crashed this whole game engine by attempting to drop all those ball bearings.
Well, no, you press and hold A
Right.
on all those ball bearings, and then go up to a gold piece and drop the gold piece, and then it duplicates it, makes that mini gold.
Right.
One of
It's
my
an
original
Oblivion
plans
joke
was
for all you
would
nerds
just,
out there.
buy so many ball bearings and just start pouring them into the underdark just to crush everything.
Well, eventually they hit the water and start floating up with it. You're just going to be flooding the whole world even
You're
quicker.
the giant.
Weird.
The
I love the idea of
It wasn't a giant throwing boulders, it was a normal man throwing very small little rocks.
I love the idea
I'm the
of
giant from the prophecy.
You know the underdog. It's all ball bearings.
It's all
next thing you know, the ball bearings are fucking your wife.
all the drow get just like dragged farther into the underdark on a sea
Keep
of
trying to
ball
get out and
bearings.
kill people, but keep rolling backwards down the constant
The
decline.
giant
of the
throws a rock into the underdark sea, turns around to pick up another rock, a flood of ball bearings wash him into the sea.
Ball bearings. They solve all our problems.
Big facts. All right. If you wanted to, like, are you just looking for
So
specific
my thought was I could use my newfound knowledge of mushrooms to source good mushrooms for our distribution company. Because the people up top seem to be super into these mushrooms, but they don't get a lot of them. So I'm wondering if maybe it's a distribution problem. And so if I can get like a couple of merchants to get on board with our distribution company, that might be very lucrative to get the that mushroom.
If you can find the ones that make you high, we're gonna make a lot.
That's what the books were.
Just start growing them.
Alright, listen. I'm not much of an agricultural man myself, but I've had an herb garden or two.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Like, it's easy enough to find stalls that sell this sort of thing.
Mhm.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion as you're going through and trying to convince people of such nonsense.
Persuasion. It's only a 6.
Asking around here, it seems like most people they have like a pretty direct path to somewhere where these grow that's like in the city, not having to go to the Underdark, and they're distributing them. Like, they're not explorers so much as just merchants, and they're making money hand over fist by selling to merchants here, and don't really want to become a middleman. Seems like people are pretty like proud entrepreneurial spirit, and they're making a lot of money by selling to merchant caravans that are coming through here, and aren't very interested in the business proposition.
Damn.
For the time being, at least.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, this one bad roll. So, it's okay.
You need to start using
can't-
that black die that Jocelyn used.
I know.
The crit machine.
You can't crit them all. That's all.
You can't crit them all.
It was my idea.
You can crit half of them half the time, but you can only crit none of them sometimes.
You miss 100% of the crits you don't take.
That's right.
The other thing.
Roll. you miss 100% of the crits you don't roll.
The other thing to do would be to try
So
to
roll for
investigate
everything.
these missing peoples.
Yeah.
If anybody else is interested.
I'm interested.
The
I'm definitely
people
interested.
going
man.
missing in the city.
Yeah, I think that's kind of our.
That's really our only goal.
From what I can tell, rumors-wise, it seems to be certain parts of the city alone and just at certain hours. I assume it's probably at night.
Well, who wants to be bait? I'll
Who's-
volunteer.
I think you look a little too tough of a target.
Thanks.
Lala.
Has there been any like
I got
rhyme
a
or
pretty
reason to the
new
people who've gone
dress.
missing? Like,
We don't want to have it ruined.
From what
by
you're hearing,
kidnappers.
the only
fair
real
enough,
like
fair enough.
common thread
I
is
don't
that
wanna
it seems
ruin
like it's more likely to be outsiders than dwarves or like locals, but that might be more due to the fact that they are less privy to like where they should and shouldn't go, like what the rough parts of town are.
because my rumor just says people go missing in certain parts of the city alone at certain hours. So presumably you would know what those
So
parts
how
of
about-
the city
how about
are.
I
Is
do-
it
You know,
anywhere?
like
I-
it's usually the rough parts of town.
I mean, you're a big dude in armor still.
Yeah, but I'm
Ooh,
an
I
I'm an
can wear-
outsider, not from here.
In a big suit armor with a big old sword.
Yeah, but I'm,
I have a.
Sorry, I'm just.
I can look very unintimidating. I am an actor, so
That can be good because
Yeah.
I think I could
Yeah.
hide us all
Yeah.
underneath
Yeah.
an illusion, so that we're all nearby. It's like, there's a big stack of boxes over there. That's kind of weird. Look at that person over there. Let's go kidnap him.
I can
Sure, those boxes
pretend to
won't
be
hurt the same
injured.
amount.
Exactly.
What are these boxes gonna do?
I like that it's literally like a dead end alley where like boxes like surrounding the back of the alley, and they're just Lala's like standing there, and then all of a sudden like the boxes appear, and there's a full like armed party of people there.
and they proceed to wreck all of our shit.
I mean, I think if we can get a hold of whoever's been kidnapping outsiders, that's a good.
It's a good start.
It's a good start. It helped. I mean, I think the Umber Hulk helped a little bit with that as well, just as far as like anything we can do to like earn the city's favor or like
Well, we
get
know,
names up there.
like you said, we know a part of town, and we know a time to try, and we've got some bait. So
Do have a guy who could ask if he knows anything else.
if you feel
But
like
if he
trying
does, is entirely dependent on whether or
You
not
would
he's
also know though, from being a local in the city,
to-
if you go to that part of town at any time of day and look like a target, you are just as likely to just get mugged as you are to get kidnapped. If you go to the bad part of town and act like I'm a lost tourist with stuff but don't know what I'm doing here, then you're just as likely to have like a non-affiliated criminal pull a knife on you and say give me your shit, as you are to have like some sort of spooky syndicate sweep.
Right, but a non-affiliated criminal pulling the gimme your shit gag on a like 3rd level character doesn't always work all that great.
Let alone a party of third level.
I'll
Give
go
me all your
home-
money, and somebody just flings them into space.
I'll go home, put my stuff
Just
I
for
wanna
the sake of
right.
setting up an ambush,
It's just
there's a decent chance your ambush is going to get triggered
Yeah.
10 times in a row
Aye.
until people are like, don't go for that golden dragon ball. They kick my ass.
We're showing up with a pile of knocked out criminals in one of the illusionary boxes while we wait for something weird to happen.
I just have a big. Listen, Silent Image gets a really big
And
space.
that's how we cleaned up this city.
We cleaned up the streets in one night.
I think I can handle myself
One
pretty
mugger at a
well
time.
with
I,
some muggers.
Well,
I
we'll be there to back you up.
Would
it's
like to track down.
The point is,
Just
don't back me up because then they will ruin our planet unless they're actually
Well,
really
Not
kidnapping
if we
me.
knock out every witness and put them in illusionary boxes.
It's the
It's
alerted
the Red Dead
silence.
2.
Yeah, you've seen too much. Yeah.
You've seen too much.
You've seen too.
It's how you go from punching the mayor to having a $10 bounty at Strawberry and you having to shoot your way out of town. Not that anybody here
Has done.
has done.
That lady jumped in front of my horse. I was just trying to get a getaway like any good criminal just punched the mayor in the face would do. She dove in front of me.
And then it all went downhill from there.
As you might call it, the cock up.
Her body did go down a very small hill into a
I
creek.
don't, whether or not he'll be useful will depend entirely or not if he's sober. I would like to track down Throden Clanless if possible.
Okay. You would know that you're probably your best bet for finding him. You know that he's not poor. He's not like usually drinking anywhere super rough.
He's just a drunk.
He's just a drunk. That there's a decent chance any day that you'll find him at the Bronze Tap. But you know that specifically because you're like have a track record with this guy. You know that he's typically done for the day before the evening. You maybe had seen him the day before when you guys were there drinking. He tends to he's very much of the mindset you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
Right.
And it's always the morning in Skygate. You think that the sooner you get there, the better chance you have of catching him sober. But he's probably at the Bronze Tap.
Once more to the Bronze Tap.
Third time's a charm.
I'm sensing a pattern.
Should have heard of the bar a lot in this campaign.
What's that you do?
There's a named bar. It's got a cool name.
One of many named bars. We could frequent all sorts of other named bars if you prefer.
Nah, this one's
Not
not.
until we have a reason we don't like this one.
Not
Not
until
until we
have
get
a
thrown
reason.
out.
Yeah.
Not until we're not allowed back at this one.
To the Bronze Tap.
You guys move into the Bronze Tap, and getting in here, it's always rowdy. It's always kind of bustling. I'm not going to make you roll for it, though, because you know he tends to be up at the bar, and if you look, you will see him there.
Well, I will approach and see how sober he looks.
Go ahead and give me perception. Persuade me to see whether how he's doing.
Please be
That is 11.
Okay. He's got multiple empty tankards in front of him, but he's not swaying too bad. And you guys see as he approaches, he walks up to a pretty stout-looking dwarf wearing ragged clothes and covered in silver piercings. Like silver piercings in nose, ears, all over the place.
Scared of werewolves.
That's it.
They definitely won't eat him if he's covered in silver.
And you can see that he is currently, like, there's like a barmaid sitting there who's kind of like talking to somebody else, but he's kind of pointing at her
Right.
and seems to be kind of.
Talking in her direction.
And you see, if any idea was really going on here, you wouldn't even be drinking here right now. And like seems to be kind of like he's kind of going off on something to her, though she doesn't seem to be paying him much mind.
Throden, how are you?
Gandalf! I could be more drunk.
Well, I'm working, so I don't have much time for drinking.
There's always time for drinking.
Especially when you're working.
That's Lala's whole, like...
You got something interesting to tell me?
Looking for information, actually.
There was a crazy Umber Hulk attack in the city yesterday. We dealt with it.
Like crazier than a normal Umber Hulk? Or just normal Umber Hulk?
It almost tore down a building.
That's pretty crazy, even for an Umber Hulk.
And then there's a crazy fish man claims to come up out of the Underdark and that doom is coming.
I don't think I've met many fishermen. but every fishman I've met is crazy.
Mm-hmm. He claims he's a giant, throwing giant stones into the ocean, the sea in the Underdark, and then it's eventually going to flood the whole world.
First of all, there's no sea in the Underdark. Nonsense.
That makes me think of
Chekhov's gun. That makes me think it's the Chekhov's gun. There's totally going to be a sea in the Underdark.
Probably, but it's an unconfirmed rumor.
You gotta go somewhere. They all roll downhill. They gotta be all, every time someone throws ball bearings in the Underdark, it's gotta roll somewhere.
Oh man.
You can Scrooge McDuck and shatter your spine just like he would. Well,
that's about all the weird news I've got.
I'd say that's some pretty weird news.
That's some pretty weird news. We're working with Vickelroy company. Maybe it's the old company.
Heard the name. Yeah, no, my understanding was he dried up. Wasn't not much of a company before, but his business, his little venture didn't work out.
Seems to be back around.
Well, no, I found it funny.
Mostly running.
Some idiot must have took a big loan out or something.
God vaults probably. He's working on some mercantile stuff and hoping to run expeditions in the Underdark. We're trying to make ourselves useful around town, maybe get on some people's good sides, see if we can't pick up a wreck from someone. You know anything about the outsiders going missing?
Don't know any specifics. My understanding is anyone's, well, not my understanding. My assumption is anyone in town is dealing in people, and it's not somebody from the Underdark. It's probably the Ivory Syndicate. But as we all know, that's a tough cookie to crack. As far as I understand, a quarter of the clanless in the city have some connection to it, yet nobody ever claims to.
You know anything about specifics about the people they're targeting, or how they tend to go missing?
Rumor is that it tends to be outsiders mostly, or drunk or downtrodden dwarves. Haven't gotten to me yet. Bad part of town, probably. I've heard some rumors of other people interested in cracking that case. I could mention things in certain circles and see what comes your way.
I appreciate that. If anybody's looking for a fight, got a group of people happy to oblige.
Well, I bet there's someone in here looking for a fight. And he kind of like his eyes kind of get a little glow in it. He's kind of rubbing his knuckles, looking around.
And then if there's anybody making, if there's anybody looking to put a stop to this problem, then they need some extra blades.
I don't know specifics, but I've heard of other people, or at least another person asking around. Don't know them personally, but friends of friends, brief conversations, mention things. Something tends to come around.
Well, you can send them up to Vickelroy's place, the towers. We'd be happy to help them out.
I'll drop some names.
Appreciate it. Oh.
Another 4 of these, at least.
At least. All right.
Sounds like
We might
got our name in the hat.
Yeah, we might have found somebody looking for the man who shot his paw or something.
Yeah.
We can help him out.
Somebody.
Grimes, I'm calling you out. You shot his paw.
And then didn't shoot him, which was really a nice thing to do.
Good.
It was nice to not shoot that poor
development
kid.
right there. That's what that
Well,
was.
do we want to try to mug some muggers, or do we want to wait
Just
for
for
your
fun?
comment?
Just, yeah.
Hey, you can get lucky.
Maybe they make somebody rich.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Sure.
Erickson rolls his little percentile die behind the screen, and we get the crack and roll, and we all die.
GG.
We fucking illithid.
Yes. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Run for your lives.
I don't know, mug that guy in the hood. We mug the guy in the hood. It's
This
just...
is the Ivory
Yes.
Syndicate. Behind it, we don't want to get into direct confrontation, I don't think.
I really don't.
If it is the Ivory Syndicate behind disappearances, I don't think we want to get into a confrontation right now.
That might be a bit too big of a fish to fry for us.
Because they scare
We
me.
might end up getting fried. Like
For
fish.
sure.
From what I've heard, they're pretty scary.
I'm not afraid of nobody.
We know that.
That would be true.
I mean, if we're like trying to go down this path of figuring out why people are gonna miss it, and then like,
It's true. I mean, we might, even if we don't like take personal, jump in and get prisoners and, haha, we gotcha, shut down the whole case. It's like, hey, we have reliable information on where the people are being kept. Here you go, Skyguard. That might be, enough to put a good word in for us at least. Because it might not be,
I
might
think
not be
this
the end
Prince
all.
dude is just right on agendas or writ. You just have to impress him enough to convince him.
it'll be the wedding gift. The deep delve.
We don't have time for a whole wedding.
That's his dowry.
Wes, tell him you need one for your company. It would mean a lot.
Listen, like you said, it's. I think it'll be more of a combination of factors than any like one silver bullet thing. It's like,
I feel like the prince is a silver bullet. It's really close.
well, that's putting a lot of eggs in a basket. I think.
Yeah, that's a lot of like.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was
They
begs in
say
one
that.
basket.
They,
at the least.
they say this thing.
Those were definitely some of the words of all time.
Nice job, buddy. Those were almost words that
I'll
time.
drink to that.
I'll drink to syllables.
I'll drink to syllables.
Yeah, I guess what do we want to do? If you don't want to hunt down the kidnappers.
Oh no, I gotta pick my armor tomorrow.
He doesn't want to be dead before he gets his
Hey, you don't
armor.
have to be a part of this mission.
Oh, there's a mission. I'm going.
I don't know.
As I have most of
I think it'd be fun to set up a little ambush. Maybe we get lucky. Maybe
Yeah.
we just beat up some muggers and.
Teach
make
them
a
us.
Yeah.
I'll go get
anything
changed.
illegal about
I'll
this?
go get changed.
Is there any
Vigilante
laws against
justice.
random vigilante justice in this city?
Probably not
if
in the
you
bad
are
part of town.
witnessing a crime and people corroborate that a crime was happening and you stopped it by attacking somebody, you'd think the Skyguard would probably not be dicks about it?
What would they think about us intentionally luring muggers and then beating them up?
I mean, it's kind of entrapment, but not really.
We're
And
not technically law enforcement, so it's not.
It's not entrapment. You know that Skyguard don't always get involved in the worst parts of town, and as long as you know that even like the police force aspect of Skyguard still considers itself this like brave force to stop the Underdark from encroaching on the rest of the world. So like they're pretty inconsistent, and it's pretty case by case basis on like local law enforcement rules and politics. It's like, oh, if what you're doing is related to the Underdark in any way, and it's against that, then they're probably going to very much be on your side. But if it is in any way like, I'm doing this because it's helpful towards this Swarfneblin family, they'd be like, I don't trust you, because they're all a bunch of kind of assholes with sticks up their ass.
So in that part of town,
Their
they
asses
likely
sticks
won't
up
even
their
know
holes.
about it. I think if they did know about it, they might not care that much.
They might not care.
Like, you beat up some poor people?
Oh, wait, poor dwarves?
Clanless?
Oh, okay.
And they attacked us first.
Sure.
We were asking for it very much.
Listen,
We don't
all
tell
we
them
were
that
doing
part.
was hanging out in this alley, hidden his boxes.
It was
One person walked up and down in front of the alley.
it
with
was
$20
a
bills sticking out of their pocket.
it was a company bonding experience.
Right.
That sounds like a good company bonding experience. We should do.
Listen, all I'm saying is if we it's the classic. Worst case scenario, we beat up some muggers. Best case scenario, we find someone who's like doing something suspicious.
You do have something in the works to help in that direction with the contact you made.
But maybe it would. But maybe it wouldn't hurt to have some information when we meet up with that contact,
Yeah.
if we get it.
I mean, yeah, if we want to, and that's totally a valid plan as well is wait on the contract.
I'm
see
fine
where that
with it.
leads first.
If you're really anxious to go beat up some muggers, I'm happy to go with you.
No.
It really
It
sounds
is
like
also
Axel
worth
wants
saying.
to go beat up some
I mean, you guys do what you want to do with your business. He does want you guys to get the Deep Delver's Writ, but he also, like, that is not the sole goal. Like,
Right, we do want to.
he wants you to negotiate contracts with people.
That is true.
And
We're kind of ignoring.
you
that.
kind of tried one of those, and it was kind of a bit of a dead end, but that is, like, a big aspect of this beginning thing.
That's true. So I can go.
I know
still
the
have-
expeditions are the neat part.
Yeah, we are
Speaking to the
I
players
don't
here.
care about your business simulation. I care about the expedition.
No.
Specifically, in your best interests,
Yeah.
your loan payments are due, regardless of how good your expedition is going while you're down there.
That's true.
But if we rob from thousands of muggers,
We just have a little-
few copies
We're doing an
at a
entire
time.
we have a vigilante justice-based economic system. Our business model is simple.
Well,
We
there's
beat up
still-
thugs and steal back what they
Wow.
stole for our own profit.
They
Well,
steal
we
from
would-
other people, then we steal it from them.
Listen,
For ourselves.
listen. We would give you a
Justice.
reward, but we know that your
That's-
heart was only in it for the justice. Think again.
Yeah, I mean, there's still with Trasa Rubyfist that I can track down.
Mhm.
That's a whole other lead that we can figure out. So that's probably a better idea than waiting in alleys.
The other one we could try that I don't know if they like or necessarily have like business deals going on is Blacklatch, which is that like clan of engineers and artificers. They're a lesser clan.
Isn't
but
that your
some of
former
that
clan?
could settle some.
We could also see if
somewhat
anybody
well
is
on the surface.
interested in some sort of deal to ship stuff directly to my city.
Oh yeah, what do they need?
They're a trading hub.
Oh,
Stuff goes up and down the country through my city.
nice. You said that those. I'm back on mushrooms. It's just the lead that I have. So I'm like, you said that
It's
they.
fascinating. What about mushrooms?
The mushrooms. Well, what I'm thinking is that the like those folks worked with like agricultural farms, right? So what if I went directly to the
The
agricultural?
muggers?
No,
The mushrooms.
Oh, you said muggers. I heard
Yeah, you never
muggers.
clarified.
You said sorry, I'm stuck on farmers.
I heard
I sounds like what do you?
Oh, sorry. I said I
Yes,
stuck
the
on
muggers and the
mushrooms.
farmers have joined forces.
I'm not sure what to
Stuck
make
on
of this.
mushrooms.
Give me what you got in your war room, I'll beat you with this radish.
What are you doing? I'm out hoeing today. You got the hoeys bonking people on the head with their money.
They ran a
Each
plow
harvest
right
is a
through the
season.
poor people.
Can we
of
please
this
have a like farming themed supervillain at some point?
I'm the hoer.
That's
The whore?
No.
the horror.
No, not that either. Something in between those.
That's very much a
The,
metro
like there's like an agriculture. Well, it's like local people sell to like merchants who are coming and doing loops through here. The like local fauna, and they go to sell it elsewhere. But them directly selling it to those people is more lucrative than them like storing it in one big warehouse. They think that's why they were not interested in that business venture. It's like there's a bunch of people who are coming to go and sell it elsewhere, but they're paying top dollar for it direct from them, and then just leaving with it like small bundle at a time instead of mass bundles.
I see. Dang.
I assume that like Bronze Tap, like the clan, is probably doing just fine business wise, at least with the beer. But it is like brewers and performers, so I don't know if we could find
And you
some sort
think
of angle.
like the Bronze Taps mass produce bronze brew, and it is distributed all over the place. But it's also like it may not be as big of a piece, but it's a very big pie. If you wanted to try it.
Yeah, well,
Figure something.
especially
Well,
if we have an in with the trading hub.
I wonder
that
if we
be a
could. I
great way
wonder if we could specialize in distributing their stout,
That's certainly something that does not circulate on the surface nearly as much.
and that's
Yeah.
the stronger stuff. So it's like, and we could market it as like it's the same people who make bronze brew.
From the creators of Bronze Brew.
Yeah, I like it. It rolls right off the tongue. All right, that's another one to track down then. So
I can
we'll
probably get them a discount on a tariff or something into
you can put it in the
I mean, you could potentially try and like send a missive to your brother to like get like certain taxes waived and stuff moving through the city.
That would have been a great thing to bring up with the Rune Hearts as well. Is like, what do you guys bring to the table? It's like, well, we have a pretty lucrative a pretty big
I didn't
political
like
sway. Wow. Okay, that's totally fair.
Alright, so-
it's your country, man. I'm just here to sell goods.
It's your country. I'm just here to profit off of it. Capitalism here.
Listen, all I'm saying, there's lines. Beer
So
is
that's
one
what I'm
thing.
saying is
Magical
if
artifacts is a
they're
whole
looking
other.
to ship a product more widely and like expand on their market, and they haven't done yet, I can make the deal sweeter for them.
Yes,
Like,
That's a great.
Yeah, waiving some taxes.
Yeah, and that's a good one to bring up with the Rubyfists too. Is like raw ore or processed ore is huge for trading hubs or large cities. So
yeah, let's see if we can track down your Rubyfist contract or contact.
Contract.
hopefully a contract.
And
a contact for a contract.
We want the contract.
figure out who with Bronze Tap we could talk to.
I mean, the leader's going to be there in a couple days. I don't think she'll be busy.
And
I think
I
she'll
don't
be
think it's a
busy.
good time to necessarily just like bring up a business deal.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, by reputation, the Bronze Taps, and by extension, their leader, are known as fun-loving, easygoing, and happy to make acquaintance with anybody. You think if you're wanting to speak with Beta, it'd probably be better to talk to her, like, not on the night of the show, but you know that, like, if you were a legitimate business approaching them, they wouldn't be like, we're far too busy, you're far too small. Like, they're like, oh yeah, sure, let's have a pint and talk about it.
Sure.
Like, that's
So,
kind of the mindset.
Back to the Bronze Tap.
To the Bronze Tap once more.
It's not a good dwarven city if you don't go to the
It's
big
a-
rowdy
it's
bar
a-
4
it's-
times in the first 2 days.
It's a revolving door, and we are running. We are just running around. to
Listen,
hit,
it's
like,
not our
revolve.
fault that everyone hangs out at the Bronze Tap, and so we
It's
have
the
to
place
go
to be.
Let's start with. Let's give the Bronze. Let's not go out of
Direct.
the Bronze Tap and straight back into the Bronze Tap.
What
So-
was it? What should we do next? Go to the Bronze Tap?
I know.
Go for a beer.
I know,
let's,
Beer?
let's maybe start with the Rubyfists, I guess.
Let's just all go down to the Bronze Tap and wait for this thing, the whole thing to blow over.
What whole thing? Your loan?
The Battle of Helm's Deep.
The impending loot?
Yeah, so I'll try to track down. Can we do an investigation, like talk to folks?
Do they have like a mine?
They do.
They have multiple mines. You know that she's typically like, it's kind of a rotating cast as far as where they're specifically located at, but there's multiple big mines, and you would know in the city there's like kind of not really an office building, but like one central hub area where a lot of the like leadership tends to kind of distribute out of, and like a lot of the workers go there, get their gear, and then go to the different mines sprawling off of it. Like there is a kind of central hub you could go
Start
to.
there.
Well,
Great place to start.
I'm gonna just hang out at the Bronze Tap,
We're gonna
wait
come
for
back
something to show up.
We'll be back.
Yeah, we'll
Trying to
Hey, you
remember
guys will be back,
what we
so-
established. Karkazov is like a trade hub between this country and then like to the south. To where
So,
there's, like, the
I mean, I have a I'm not going to show this map because this is the map for me and it's not a good one. There is the Pales, which is the mountain range you guys are in, and there's the road leading through it from Skygate, essentially along the Landscar Canyon that you guys were moving along. It goes down a river, and pretty close to that river, off to the other mountain range, which is where you're from, which is the Greys, is Karkazov. So it's kind of like the main road leading out from that to the southern coast, to the biggest city of the southern coast, goes through Karkazov, that section of the Pales. And that's the kind of Triton kingdom that exists in the southern coast, and the capital of Nindis you are between Nindis, which is the biggest export by sea hub of this entire land, and like your city is in between the Skygate and Nindis.
So what's a product that the Tritons don't have, but would want?
beer.
It's not even just so much of like what they would want, it's their distribution, company stuff. But like they are a huge export hub. Like it's a massive trade city in a lot of ways. Like a bunch of ships from all over the entire planet.
Easy place to sell stuff.
Easy place to sell, and like it's a lot of the weirder and variety of mini things.
And what's the name of that city?
It is Nindis.
Okay.
Nindis.
So we can basically just sell it as like
Easy transport to
I
Nindis.
can we can give
If you can
a
hit like
sweeter
the
deal of
major
getting-
taxing city between Skygate and Nindis and lower or change those taxes, that is lucrative.
we can lower the barrier of entry for them to get their products to the
Yeah.
Indus market.
Listen, lowering taxes just means higher profits.
Yes.
But more products going through Karkazov because it also just means more money for Karkazov.
Right.
Even though
But you know that Karkazov doesn't export a whole lot right now because you guys are still rebuilding. So the taxing of things moving through it is what is rebuilding the city. So you just have to. Your brother, I'm sure, would be happy to help
It'd be
work with
better
you.
to make a little bit of money off of a lot of things going through than making a lot of money off of almost nothing moving through.
Sure. It's an idea. I mean, that's
It's
what you
something-
pitch in
It's
your
something you
letter.
have access to. Absolutely. Yeah, you just have to pitch it to your brother, but he'd probably be pretty open to something.
I'll pen a letter to him and have it sent somehow.
This-
And-
well, of course, through the UCPS, or Craglands Postal Service. That totally exists.
Oh god, are they gonna lose my package? Like
No
after
wind,
3
no,
weeks?
no rain, no purple worm. We will get your package where it's going.
The orcs have wargs, right? So the Warg Express, kind of like the Pony Express.
The Warg Express.
The Warg Express. Yeah.
Yeah, except nobody tries to rob them along the way.
Because there's goddamn war. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you can definitely pin something in there. There's a
And
mail
just like
system to
ask
sort
him
of-
like, or if he has other ideas about how to like coax people from Skygate to want to like ship things through the city.
Yeah.
Some ideas would be, I'm not like what rates he'd be willing to go down to,
There's,
Okay.
I'm sure there's specifics.
since he knows the economics of the city better than I do right now. Because he's there
Because he's there.
and in charge.
Listen, you're specifically not causing a power struggle by being over here and making money to help the city. There you go. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
Why?
Lemon squeeze.
Yeah,
That's
that's
exactly why.
Yep, that's why you're there.
that's why you're
No other reason.
That's it.
So,
Yeah.
Rubyfist. Cut
Rubyfist.
this.
Sorry. Yep.
You guys, those of you who are going there, move to the city and arrive there.
All right. I will head to the central desk.
There's not really like necessarily a front desk. There's like a lot of people moving around. Mostly you see a bunch of gruff, dusty, cold, splattered. Like these are laborers to the extreme. Miners coming and going from this place. You can see a number of people who look less dirty and seem to be shouting orders that you could absolutely come up to somebody and ask.
Perfect.
Fair to be shouted at.
Yeah. Excuse me, Foreman. Looking for Liftrasa Rubyfist.
Can you step aside for a second?
Yeah, of
here?
course.
God, dwarfs at work. Come on, step aside. And you can see like there's,
like minute.
and as you there's like a big cart, and you see a bunch of big rocks kind of move through here. He's like, "Can I help you? This is a work zone here, all right?
Sorry, I'm looking for Liftrasa Rubyfist.
How do you know Liftrasa?
Do I have something written down? Just I don't want to contradict myself. It doesn't say she's just a contact. So,
Fair game.
just
I think you decided last night. I don't remember what it was.
yeah, we'll say business acquaintance. Just looking to drum up some contracts.
Well, she's foreman, currently running for the day at least. And he kind of points that shaft section there. If you go to the mouth of it and speak to someone there, they might be able to dig her out from inside. Just don't go too close. That one's a little shakier in the line. Don't go inside of it. It's the scaffolding's in progress.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll head that way.
Stay out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I exclaim. Now these are true dwarfs.
Goddamn right. You're more than damn right.
Yes.
Are you trying to like drum up some revolution here that we don't know of?
Just a true dwarf. I care about.
He's a real dwarf.
I
He's
I
a
care
dwarf.
about what Moradin's true values.
Yeah.
Like race purity.
Species purity. and calling the weak.
He didn't say that.
Yeah.
As soon as you go to the mouth of that cave,
Yes.
there's multiple workers coming and going from this one, and you do hear like, it seems like you see like a guy moving with like a big cart, and there's tools and supplies inside of it, and as he like goes onto like this little ramp going along the side, just like and it kind of like shakes on him as he's going, and it's like kind of rickety and moving and swaying as he's moving on it, but he seems pretty sure-footed. There is not really somebody who you see at the mouth of this kind of cave opening here that gives off like I'm in charge energy, and none of them are Liftrasa, but there are people mucking about doing stuff.
Gotcha. Hey, could you send a message down to Liftrasa Rubyfist for me? There's a
Yeah, what is
Axel Savola up here to talk with her.
Axel Savola?
That's me.
No, if I can find it down there.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. And
Best I can do.
rough miner man goes inside of there. You guys wait for a while.
It's a work day.
It's a work day, and he's going into
Mine.
newer but still fairly established shoot, and it seems like it takes some time to get to wherever she is inside of here. And after some time walking out, you see a familiar face. She is... One moment here... Back
She's pissed to see Axel.
You see the stony facial expression and rigid posture of your good friend Liftrasa. You know, she typically wears nicer clothes, practical but nice. She's wearing less nice, more practical, and seems a little dirty. It seems like she's got quite a bit of dirt and stuff on her. Less on like hands, gloves, more like on her in general. She's probably been kind of shouting orders and coordinating, but she's down in it. And she comes kind of walking up to you. She's got the same thing you've seen before. She likes to chew on clay. She's just always got a little ball of clay in her mouth, and she's kind of comes to like, "What the hell are you doing in Skygate?"
Business.
Business.
Yeah. I'm part of a distribution
Selling
company.
cakes. Distribution.
Distribution company these days. I'm moving up in the world.
Distributing cakes?
Business. Listen, if you got some cakes I can distribute.
If you know what he means.
She kind of eyes you up and down. She's like, "I don't swing whatever way you are."
Cakes, apparently.
I'm busting your balls. So you're working distribution?
Yeah, so hopefully expedition here shortly, but distribution for now. And I mean, you guys got a lot to distribute.
Damn right. Got a lot to distribute here. You're established? Or are you trying to
More
get
or
off
less.
the ground?
I mean, we have a contract with the. What were they?
Firebeards?
Dwarfersons?
They all blend
Flintbeards.
together.
Flintbeards.
The Flintbeards,
Flintbeards.
thank you. We have
I
a
was close.
contract with
Firebeards.
Flintbeards already, and we're working on drumming up some contracts with the Bronze House. We got something in the works there,
Well,
so we're figuring it out.
any contracts have to go through Tolbeer.
Mm.
She's the big boss up top, and she doesn't let anything go without her direct say-so. And getting a meeting with Tolveer, for me, is damn near impossible. I've heard of some trouble
Oh,
in a mine.
well, we are trouble solvers, not just troublemakers.
Sure.
I'm really glad I stood back at the bronze tent.
Says, if you can get a group of people together that can solve a problem, come back here tomorrow and meet me. We'll just say at the mouth of this cave. I'm actually off tomorrow, but I could point you in the direction of our currently inoperable mine. If you were to
Something living in it?
something wanted to make it
things.
home,
Mm.
some things wanted to make it home.
Oh, things. Great.
Normally, we would be just calling the Sky Guards to clear stuff out, but what we've had break into us is potentially useful. If a bit of a tunnel to places Sky Guards wouldn't want us to have access. If we're able to clean it up quietly, I think Tolveer would at least listen to you.
Well, that sounds like
Tom's not going anywhere. I can wait till tomorrow.
Gloomstalker at your service.
That's what we keep
Well-
on for.
Hopefully you got light feet too. It's crew things.
Think we can
No
handle it?
role needed from you to know that they're a horrible, skittery, nasty of the Underdark that can...
Are they a bug thing? Do they try and crawl down your throat? Is this the second mine and the second one of your campaign?
They don't try and crawl down your throat. They
Okay,
are
good.
kind of a bug thing. Not really a bug thing, more of a skittery, sharp thing. But
That's
you
what
know,
those bug things were.
what you
were
would know
scary,
about
sharp
them
things.
is that they are burrowers and that they are good at sensing vibration. You know, specifically as a Gloomstalker, these are fairly common creepy of the Underdark, and they're kind of a Gloomstalker's bane because they tend to be able to feel footsteps and know where things are, regardless
Someday
of being
I'll
able
be
to see
able to
them.
fly.
Oh, you gotta
I
say
gotta keep clipping your wings.
And then they'll never be able to. And then they'll never be able to track me.
Your curse will never be broken. What are you talking about?
That is the kind of the
That
whole
is the
kinky
kinky
thing.
thing.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is the thing. Oh wait. Would Burrow Sense detect us through silence?
Yes, because it's like the vibrations.
It's not
It
sound.
doesn't sound.
We're not going to have the
But
argument of whether
it's a
sound
vibrations
is
in the ground.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not.
Sound is
the-
vibration, but not all vibrations are sound. Yes.
It's a real square rectangle sound vibration.
It's like, where does the circle go? Does it
If
go in the square hole?
if I was a
Yes.
game master, I
That's
would
right, shove
probably
on,
assume-
if anything.
Think
Who
about
would be the
this.
fastest
We roll
runner
tens
here?
of thousands of ball bearings. All that vibration is a lot of noise for them. They won't be able to pick out
So,
what
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah,
ton of
that's
white
what
noise.
it is.
It'll just deafen them. Yeah.
return the answers, ball bearings.
They're a
If,
solution to
They can
many
never get in
problems.
the mind because there's just
True.
so many ball bearings.
if I was we've hit the ball bearings mother load. That's a ball bearings
It's
mine.
It's
okay,
all
I'll
ball
just
bearings
cast
these days.
Tasha's hideous laughter and you guys fucking slap the shit.
That's the
I
usual
just
strategy.
if I was a game master, I would rule that silence probably wouldn't
I'm just.
protect you from them.
It was the classic.
We'll cross that bridge when it collapses out from underneath you.
Sure.
So no.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like. I mean, hey, we're looking to go on expeditions in the Underdark, so it's a good way to cut our teeth on some Underdark monsters. So.
Do they have anything? Do these creepy crawlers have anything
You should look them
valuable?
up
Like,
in your.
could
We
we?
have I have a book on that. Nice.
Yeah, like
Oh yeah, so what?
Make an advantage nature.
I'm going to see if my book says anything about them.
Okay.
16?
Nature 11.
With a 16, you would know that the younger ones are not particularly valuable. Like they've got chitinous hide and kind of sharp, spiky legs and the like, which can be valuable. But you know, like in general, it's not necessarily like a super valuable creature. They're very common, and their hides are hard, but not particularly hard in a super useful way. Some people will pay money for eggs if you can find them.
probably not.
Are they tasty?
Taste like it's not really a creature that can be raised for like a pet. They are sometimes raised and kept caged and things like that for like essentially Kruthic fighting rings and things like that in seedier parts of the city. Things like that will go along. So if you can get like juvenile ones captured or eggs that they can raise into fighting creatures, then that's something that can be valuable. But there's little else you can use their bodies for.
Fair.
And the older, bigger ones are like their hides are harder. The sharp prongs of their kind of spidery, gross, stabby legs are like useful for making tools and weapons and the like for some, but it's not necessarily like stronger than steel or anything like that. It's just usable.
How
Were
many
they-
do they get?
Are they particularly brightly colored or anything?
Not really. You know, they're like usually kind of a purplish, dark.
Well,
Color
there's just
color.
like literally a shop in here that makes inks and dyes from local fungus and insects.
You know that they range from small dog to big horse, or larger. Some get to like large
does
size
the-
or more. There's rumor that there's like great hive queen, massive ones, but there's not like really confirmed yet. Like the ones that are known of are like there's large size ones, there's big ones.
Is there any information on like vulnerabilities or weak spots?
It seems like they are a little bit like all that it says about them is that the creatures tend to be what's the word I'm looking for?
Sensitive.
Sensitive to mind altering things, things that peel away at psyche, magics of that sort. Like there's kind of it really just describes like some wizards and stuff use arcane rituals and seals to like produce effects that like bother the minds of them, and that tends to drive them away more
If
than
we
like,
start feeding,
fire or
if we
anything
start
else.
feeding these guys that like fancy potion stuff that helps increase your sanity from one guy will create a super species of these things. It'll be a real menace.
Oh god.
The real menace.
Give us the writ to explore Underdark, or else
We released our acoustic
Yeah.
It's a real pickle Costigan's character will be in.
You said that you don't want the guards to see something that could be valuable.
We want the mine cleaned out and we don't want it done by Skygate.
That's the deal.
But
Well, we
why?
happen to not be
Well,
scared.
we'll see when we get down there, probably.
And if you mention this to Skyguard, you can bet your ass there's no contracts coming your way.
No, we'll keep our mouths shut. We're not a bunch of
No, we're
chatterboxes over here, are we?
No more moneymakers.
I'd like give you guys in the eyeball. They're gonna break my kneecaps, guys.
I just repeat chatterboxes in his voice. Because
Chatterboxes. Chatterboxes.
You know, I'm just saying.
I get my raven to mimic me back to you.
What a productive conversation.
There's something
So you're
like
triple.
maybe an access to the Underdark. We could work something out too.
There's some deep tunnels that are valuable, but some would consider part of the Underdark.
Possibly.
And
On a technicality.
any access into the Underdark is to be closely monitored, and certainly Skyguard would need to be aware.
Absolutely. Skyguard is 100% in control of all access to the Underdark.
You're damn right.
It's a gray area. What exactly is it? It's not Underdark.
Well,
It's just
that's
rough.
up for No, no,
They're
no,
gonna
no, no,
just
no,
rock
actually,
always
actually,
go.
no. The Skyguard has absolute, complete control of any access to the Underdark.
Well,
The
they
only
do.
way anything's getting out of the Underdark's that big gate they got.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Obviously.
And that one Umber Hulk that destroyed that guy's
That was a
house.
fluke.
And probably every other time that's happened.
Well, because the sea's raising.
They're all being chased out of the other
It's getting to look like, it's weird.
Yeah, we actually. So I'll relay that.
Umberhulk in the city. Doesn't happen often.
Yeah, it looks like it tunneled its way right into
Perfect.
some poor guy's house.
Tunneling in aren't that often either.
Maybe the sea is raising.
So let's see it.
There's a crazy coup to it. Don't worry about it.
It's all adding up.
It's all that.
We need to find that giant.
Hey, well, that's a great lead. I really appreciate it. We'll,
Way to appreciate that problem being dealt with.
I realized I have a really handy spell. I have a secret tool for tomorrow.
It's one of our platinum mines, so we'd really
Yeah.
appreciate it if that problem got dealt with.
Well, there we go. Wait, hey, and we're looking to get you to really
True
appreciate us. And I really appreciate you, Lustrasa, so let's get a beard up later.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. You don't think I'm coming back? You still think that I just bake cakes? You think this staff is fake? Hey, you know what? And I clap my hands in class presentation, and all like the coal dust and stuff off her just to prove a point.
Thanks.
She
You
was
can
using
bake
that.
and clean. A real warrior.
I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Fuck you all, and I'll see you tomorrow.
I like her.
So do I.
I feel like I'm missing something.
Good stuff. You just think I bake cakes. You don't think the staff is real.
Last time she knew you,
It's true.
pretty much you're a baker.
Once again, I said business contract. What I meant was she stopped by my family's like bakery, and I like was like, "There you go."
Hey, here's a cake.
That's a good cake.
It's good cake. I was like a dwarf. You don't get too many dwarves around here. Yada chada chada.
Those of you, the one of you, I think.
I
who
think it's
stays
just me.
behind. What are you trying to do at the Bronze Staff? Just hoping something interesting happens.
Pretty much.
I mean,
I don't know, something incredible, I guess.
There are like the occasional scuffle that gets turned into a fight. Whoever wins gets tossed out usually. If it's not like a hey, let's wrestle and solve. Let's go. Like they get in a drunken, ugly fight, then like whoever wins gets thrown out, and whoever loses gets drug out. And other than that, like people are drinking, people are making merry. There's the only real notable different sort of thing that you see is there is a kind of odd act that comes up and plays for a little while. You do see what appears to be a I mean, you don't really know gender because it's weird to know with this kind of stuff. A minotaur, but one that isn't similar to like the big bull style minotaur. It's more of like, picture facial features and stuff more like a water buffalo, but kind of like long sweeping horns going up along its head, but with like lighter brown hair, or like brighter brown fur instead of like the dark kind of typical water buffalo, just kind of in the facial shape. And they go up and they're playing like essentially like a stand-up bass or cello style instrument. They're up there, they're not really standing, they're kind of sitting on a stool playing that. And what you would recognize, Jerry, but Zaraxis wouldn't, like essentially like Mongolian throat singing. And like while playing and like kind of like harmonizing with the cello music they're playing with their throat singing. And it seems to be a kind of weird and different act and people are very into.
Alright, well they should.
It's a cool show.
Mongolian throat singing is
I'll,
fucking awesome.
Yeah. I guess while I'm just waiting for them to come back and anything else, I'll have a beer and I'll buy a beer for the throat singer over there.
Okay. They finish their set before, like, there's a couple different people who've like bought a drink for them and they like think of it. And they do have like, there's like a little section in front where people could like throw money and stuff. But if drinks get brought up at the end of the set, and they're kind of give a blanket thank you for people buying drinks for the act.
They have a suitcase full of albums and stickers.
Yeah.
Zaraxis is not that.
SoundCloud links. And,
Yeah. What is a link?
But yeah.
Yeah, pretty much just wait for them to come back.
Okay.
I don't know, wait for you to come back, I guess.
True will do.
Zaraxis just got tired of just going all.
You were all gonna go back to the bronze tap anyway, why should I even leave?
Yeah. Listen.
Revolving door. And we're just
Bronze
running around in circles.
It's gonna be a longer episode, but that's fine. So there's a couple things to get to. So,
Sorry.
are you guys all regrouping at Bronx Tap at the end of this day? Just kind of get it after all this moving back and forth along the city. You can kind of arrive at the Bronze Tap. It's evening. It's late. You're getting pretty close to time to go to sleep.
I'll well, so we're, I mean, the whole reason we're here, I'll go up to the bar and say, hey, is there anyone in charge that I can have a beer with?
Kind of this kind of looks around like,
I've got a business proposition.
Miss Met! And you see a dwarven lady turn around, has like long brown hair. And you can see that she's like wearing kind of barmaid clothes and moving around, but she also has a loop kind of strapped to her back. And she kind of spins around and is like, they want to talk to someone in charge. And just walks past her leaving.
It's kind of like, doesn't need me!
It's like, that's me apparently today. Yes, how can I help you?
Well, so we work for Vickelroy Distribution, and we were looking to talk to somebody about distributing some bronze tap.
Trying to sell.
Yeah.
In particular, the stout.
The stout was kind of something
Since it doesn't seem
caught
to
our
make its
eye.
way out of the
Yeah.
city.
Connoisseurs.
Well, we've been here a couple of times in the last 2 days, and it's really just
We've been here a
We
couple
spend
of.
all of our time here.
We've been here a couple. We've been here a couple
Only
of
place
times
to be.
today.
Only place to be.
This is our third time here today.
I play at every Bronze Tap bar in town. This is the best one. There's a reason it's the one, you know? Unless you're into that more, different style, feel, or whatever. Anyway, if you're looking to distribute, we have kind of blanket contract stuff we'll do with different companies and stuff like that. I know I'm not really in on the business side of that. I am not in charge. But I'd be happy to let Beta know next time she's through. I think she's pretty deep in practicing for the big show coming up. But she should be here tomorrow evening. And I could certainly let her know that you're interested in business and that you'd arrive here, and if she's not too busy, she should be able to see you. She'll make time to see people if she can.
That'd be awesome. That's the best we could ask for, honestly.
Sure.
Well, I mean, besides just signing us for a contract right now, but
I mean, I'll sign whatever you want me to, but it won't be good.
Can we sign this bar napkin real quick?
And you see her pull like a quill and ink on it.
You're really ready for that.
And it's like a clearly practiced signature.
Right.
Like she's like hoping one day to be a famous bard and people to want to have her signature. And she signs Nismet Bronze Tap on it.
Heck yeah.
You're like, it'll be worth something, hopefully.
Hey, I'll hold on to it.
You better.
I will. Hang on. In the treasure tab.
Immediately loses it.
Napkin. What was it? Was something
Nismet Bronze
thank
Tap.
Mismet.
Yeah, don't just write bronze tap or you'll assume it's the other bronze tap.
you. That one would be worth
the
something.
name of the city?
Mindus?
Mindus?
Mindus
Oh,
was
I
the city.
really forgot that one. Nismet, Mindus.
Mismet, Mindus,
Braun,
business,
Braun.
And unless you guys have any other specifics or just want to drink for a little bit before heading back home for the evening, I assume?
We are broke.
No,
I think we're.
no, Zaraxis is
I'm
over
doing
being at the bronze tap.
A little bit of business done. About time for sleep. I know we're kind of going along with this one, but that's fine because there's just one last little bit to get to
Ambush.
before. Yes, the ambush. Well, you all make it back. You don't get ambushed. You arrive back at the Inverted Peaks. Entering in through the front door, it's evening now. You know that Honey's not there. Vickelroy's not there. He's asleep if he is. Nobody's like really moving around. You walk in through the front door. You go kind of to your sections, and you notice immediately the first of the rooms kind of closest that's not Vickelroy's is Axel's as the other kind of business partner here. And something that's pretty clear is like you guys have like the keys and stuff to your place, and looking at it, like you left and locked your door, the door seems like slightly ajar.
Just his room?
Just his room. Everyone else's still seems closed.
I send Hugin in first.
It's not enough for the Raven to like squeeze through. It's like the door, instead of being flush, is like it's not like open. It's like slightly.
Well, then we
instead
take
of
a different approach.
Can
I
I-
walk up to the door and front kick it in.
Okay, walking up to it
I could have did that.
with
I
just
could
a
have
passive-
done divine
like, listen,
sense, like to
It's
see if
my
there's
door. I can do what I want.
Walking up to it, like right before you kick it, you can look, and it seems like the door you're sure that was left closed and locked is slightly cracked. And just a brief inspection before you kick, it shows that the signs of like the locking mechanism looks like it has been picked. Like you can see some like scratch and stuff on it. It looks like it's been picked by practiced but clumsy hands. Like somebody who knows how to pick locks but is just kind of a clumsy person.
Who do we know that's clumsy?
candle.
Hey, I've been with one or all of you all day, and I do not know how to
We
pick
all have an
locks.
alibi except for.
I'm still kicking it.
Okay, you kick the door.
I've been
Go ahead and roll
Alright,
me
it's
athletics.
Alright.
Just for how hard you kick this
Yeah,
door.
for how much damage you do.
Shoot
Guys
your
on
door.
the other side of the
It's
door.
a raw roll, boys. 12.
12. So it's not like it was like it slams open as you kick it, and you can see kind of shadowy figure with like the backlighting of the little bit of kind of light from the different torch sconce stuff in the city that shines through your window. Kind of hooded, cloaked figure who's kind of against you, kind of like jumps at this, but like then goes back to a kind of moody position,
Oh no!
and then
Oh no!
turning as you see a dark robe with crimson
You
details.
finally did it.
I heard tales of your recent heroics in the city, and knew our paths would cross sooner or later. So let's cut to the chase. What exactly is it you seek from me?
Who are
He
you?
says, glaring at it, I am the Crimson Fox.
What? Oh,
not
this
from a
is the
campaign,
contact
that
from
was
the
from
bar.
the very
What was his
first one.
what was your guy's name?
From Dragon.
Throden?
Throden. Did Throden send you?
Throden. I don't know this Throden.
Like 8 years ago.
And stop playing coy with me! It must have cost you immeasurable resources to track me to this place.
What are you doing in his room?
I was gonna say this is my room.
What is it you seek from the Crimson Fox? What service may I be?
Who the hell?
Seven?
Who the hell are you?
The Crimson Fox!
That doesn't answer my question.
It is the answer to what you asked of me.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna guess you heard about that we're looking into the disappearances of like the travelers and things. right?
You too seem to be trying to unravel this secret.
Oh,
That is
God.
why you wish to speak to me.
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
Stop tiptoeing around.
What
it.
This
Be
is-
blunt.
What do you know?
What do you know of this?
What do I know? I'm on the edge of cracking this case wide open. But if you're seeking to help, the city, she is a cruel mistress and has many leads to follow.
Candle has a headache. Candle says.
Headache.
Headache. I'm about to cantrip and freeze his ass.
No, this. Yeah. What's the scoop? Crimson Fox.
Well,
Don't play along.
Listen, man. Do you want the writ or not? You gotta do.
I'm pretty sure this guy does not have a deep Delphus ring.
No. What we do this. It's the steps. Baby steps.
I don't
They're
think.
gonna break my kneecaps.
I am not.
I like how that's your argument.
I
Right?
am
They're gonna
not-
break my kneecaps.
I am not certain that this is the guy that Odin was gonna send our way.
I really.
I'm pretty sure this is. This has to
he said he
be.
didn't know personally. It's friends of friends.
What kind of
This
friends
is
does
a
Throden
lot.
know that he?
One moment.
It's all good. All good. Look it up.
Does this seem to be like a human?
He seems human.
Like
He's definitely not dwarf.
height-wise?
Definitely not dwarf.
Okay.
Height-wise, it's definitely human-like height.
We have.
I'm about to go
So I
to.
was about to say, we
He
haven't.
looks like this
guy.
mini. He'd like to
Pass
circulate
it
that.
around. Pass it-
I like how it's even labeled Crimson
It's
Fox.
been like that for years.
This is a.
He
This
gets
is a
it. He gets his
character.
own.
It's
He
been
gets
a
his own
joke
mini
character
box.
for
Yeah.
years.
And he finally showed up in a campaign.
Oh my
Erickson has been
God.
waiting for this moment.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's a huge dork.
My favorite,
You
my,
can tell.
my favorite moment was
How dare
when
you?
my favorite moment was when we looked over one day and the Crimson Fox mini box was empty. And we're just like, where did he go? What's happened?
He went on an
NPC list that
adventure.
has this thing.
The Crimson
The
Fox.
Crimson
He
Fox.
says.
Oh God.
One second, actually. Let me make sure.
Listen, no. You guys know the rules. If Erickson has a funny voice, we keep the character around for as long as possible.
I'm about to go threaten the hell out of him. He doesn't
I'm
start
pretty
talking.
sure I know how he's going to exit this scene.
If you're looking for a seedy bit of information,
No.
you must go to the seediest place. The dented spigot. There, I hear, if syndicate information is what you seek, there is an individual known as Storm, who is who you may want to have question. Though the right questions need be.
Alright, so we're looking for Storm.
Precisely!
Is that all you're gonna give us?
You got me again.
That should be all you need.
Can I throw him out now?
You know what? You're
I-
like on my bed. I need to go.
I
sleep.
went to, while we're talking to him, I went to cast Detect Thoughts and just try to, like, you know, like, not,
No,
not,
that's
the
not be
surface
intrusive. I just want to see if this is,
What
like,
the surface thoughts
I'm
are?
just trying to figure out if this is an act.
The surface thoughts are,
Man, I'm so.
the city needs me. Hopefully, they can help.
Oh my God! He is Al Gore from South Park.
He's genuine.
And he was saying, like, he says, sleep. And he turns and he looks out the window, and he says, it's funny.
I will.
In an
find
underground
you.
city, it's always nighttime, and yet, this city never sleeps.
Can I use Ray of Frost to like freeze his feet in place?
It's an attack. If you hit him with that, you're hurting him.
Don't do it.
He says,
He's
next
a good
time
guy,
you need
he's just
me.
weird.
let's avoid this song and dance. Just use my signal, and I will arrive with all haste.
What is your signal?
Crimson Fox! Away! And he just runs straight towards you guys, kind of stumbling through you into the hallway, turns and runs down the hallway. And if you kind of glance over your shoulder, you see him kind of run, and like it's kind of like a cartoon, like
Yeah.
stop, reach and grab a handful of rock candy, continue running out the door, and kind of like into the hall, kind of stumbling. And then
Tomorrow we
down
just
the
need to
hall.
look for somebody with a blue tongue. Have the identity.
So what was the signal?
You didn't tell
His
us.
signal
Very
is in
specific.
return.
Signal!
And with the Crimson Fox away back into the night, we will adjourn this episode of Skygate.
Now my room smells like Crimson Fox. He's been waiting in here for like an hour.
It does. It's a little musty.
I open a
It's
window.
a little musty.
I was really expecting him to go out through the window.
That's right.
You would like jumping out of this window is certain death if you can't fly or cast Featherfall. So you know.
I'm pretty sure he's just a dude.
Me too.
Aren't we all?
We
Until we take the call. We will call this episode adjourned, and we will see you all in the next episode when all these loose threads get tightened up a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Thank you all for watching. See you next time.